Haven Station never slept. Even when the lights dimmed and most merchants returned to their ships, the station continued humming with quiet life. Cargo cranes moved slowly through vacuum. Docking lights blinked like patient stars. Translation systems whispered across the corridors as dozens of alien languages blended into one uneasy harmony. It was the kind of place where everyone watched everyone. And that was exactly why Warren Cross tried not to attract attention. Warren was not a soldier, not a diplomat, and definitely not important. He was a technician. A repair specialist. The kind of man people called when machines behaved strangely. Normally that meant fixing broken cargo scanners or recalibrating gravity regulators. Today it meant something very different. Beyond the docking shield outside Haven Station floated a ship unlike anything Warren had ever seen. Queen Lyria's flagship. It hung in space like a silver crescent moon. The hull did not look built. It looked grown. Smooth plates curved over each other like the petals of a metal flower, glowing faintly with veins of blue light. The ship almost seemed alive. Warren stared for a moment too long before remembering to keep walking. 2 royal soldiers waited at the docking bridge. They were tall and graceful, their armor thin and shining like liquid metal. Long ears curved backward from their temples, moving slightly as if reacting to sounds Warren could not hear. "Technician Warren Cross," one of them said calmly. "That's me," Warren replied. "You are expected." "That's what my mother used to say," Warren muttered. "Usually before something went wrong." The soldier blinked once, clearly unsure how to respond. Warren smiled nervously. Great start. They escorted him across the bridge and into the flagship. The air changed instantly. It was cooler, cleaner. The walls curved like living bone, glowing with soft patterns of light that shifted slowly as if breathing. Warren touched one wall gently. It warmed beneath his fingers. "Please refrain from unnecessary contact," one soldier said immediately. "Right," Warren replied quickly. "No petting the spaceship." They continued walking. The corridors did not follow straight lines like human ships. Everything curved naturally. Even the gravity felt smoother, almost gentle. Warren's engineer brain raced as he tried to understand it. Bioreactive materials. Adaptive hull plating. Distributed neural control. This wasn't just a ship. It was a living system. Finally they entered the command deck. The room opened wide like a cathedral. Floating holograms displayed entire star systems. A massive crystalline core hovered in the center, glowing softly as streams of data moved around it. And standing at the front of the chamber was Queen Lyria. She looked almost human. Almost. Her posture carried quiet authority, and her long ears framed her face elegantly. Her eyes held an unusual depth, reflecting the starlight around her. Warren suddenly felt very underdressed. "Technician Cross," she said calmly. "You were recommended for your expertise in harmonic systems." "That's a polite way of saying I fix strange problems," Warren said. A faint hint of amusement touched her expression. "We are experiencing minor irregularities in the navigation interface," she explained. "Our engineers believe an external perspective may help." "External perspectives are my specialty," Warren replied. He approached the crystalline core and connected his datapad. Instantly information flooded his screen. Authentication matrices. Genetic command locks. Biometric voice harmonics. Warren whistled quietly. "This ship doesn't just recognize voices," he said. "It recognizes genetic resonance." Lyria nodded. "Only members of the royal bloodline may issue primary commands." "That sounds efficient," Warren said. "Also terrifying." He began running diagnostics, speaking quietly to himself as he worked. "Okay, secondary alignment, vector stabilization." The room suddenly flashed. The crystalline core brightened. Star charts shifted instantly into perfect alignment. A soft confirmation tone echoed across the chamber. Warren froze. "That wasn't me." The soldiers immediately moved toward their weapons. Queen Lyria stepped closer. "What did you say?" "I was just talking to myself," Warren replied carefully. "Which I admit is concerning, but usually harmless." The core pulsed again. A display appeared above the console. Primary authority confirmed. The room fell silent. Warren blinked. Please tell me your ship does this with everyone. No one laughed. Lyria studied him with intense focus. Repeat what you said. You want me to talk to the ship again? Yes. Warren sighed. Fine. He cleared his throat. Secondary alignment. Run vector stabilization. The ship responded instantly. Lights flowed through the crystalline core. The command deck displays reorganized perfectly. A soldier whispered in shock. The vessel accepted his command. Warren stared at the screen. That's impossible. He checked the logs again. His voice signature appeared next to the Queen's authorization profile. The harmonic patterns were nearly identical. Warren's stomach dropped. Oh, he said quietly. That's not good. Lyria moved beside him. Explain. The ship isn't recognizing the words, Warren said. It's recognizing my biological resonance. That cannot be. Trust me, Warren replied. I'd love for it to be wrong. He opened another diagnostic window. Genetic comparisons appeared. 2 waveforms overlapped. One belonged to Queen Lyria's royal lineage. The other belonged to Warren. They matched. Not perfectly, but close enough. The ship emitted a low hum as if satisfied. Lyria stared at the data. The flagship has never made an error in royal recognition. Warren gave a weak smile. Great. That makes this even worse. The command deck doors sealed shut. Seal communications, Lyria ordered calmly. No one spoke. The ship's lights dimmed slightly as security protocols activated. Warren swallowed. I just want to clarify, he said nervously. I came here to fix navigation problems. Not to accidentally become royalty. The core pulsed again. Almost like it disagreed. And somewhere deep inside the living ship, ancient systems began waking up. The scanning chamber glowed with soft blue light. Warren stood inside the analysis platform while dozens of sensors examined him. Genetic scans. Neural patterns. Cellular resonance. The flagship was studying him with extreme interest. Warren tried not to move. You know, he said nervously, this is the most intense medical exam I've ever had. Queen Lyria ignored the comment. Her eyes remained locked on the data projections. Lines of genetic code floated through the air. Most of them were clearly human. But some sequences were different. Strange. Ancient. Optimized for harmonic biointerfaces. That shouldn't exist, Warren whispered. Lyria looked at him. You recognize it. I recognize that human DNA doesn't normally contain command interface receptors. He zoomed in further. Another projection appeared. An ancient genetic signature from the Royal Archives. Overlay mine with that, Warren said. The system complied. 2 waveforms merged. They matched. Not identical, but close enough to suggest a shared origin. Silence filled the room. Finally Warren spoke. Okay. So this is weird. Lyria remained perfectly still. This signature predates my dynasty, she said quietly. From when? Before the sovereign isolation decree. Warren frowned. That sounds important. It was a period when our people experimented with diplomacy. Diplomacy with humans. Yes. The realization hit him slowly. You're saying our civilizations once worked together. More than that. Lyria expanded another projection. Ancient documents appeared. Joint research. Shared engineering. Genetic interface experiments. Warren stared in amazement. This was a massive project. It was called the Harmonic Concordance, Lyria said. Our ancestors believed war between our species would eventually occur. So they created a biological safeguard, Warren finished. Yes. Human bloodlines were modified slightly. Not enough to change them. Just enough to allow future resonance with alien command systems. So the flagship wasn't confused, Warren said slowly. It remembered. Lyria nodded. The ship was designed to recognize compatible humans if relations between our civilizations deteriorated. Warren leaned back. So I'm basically a backup plan from 300 years ago. Yes. That is deeply unsettling. The chamber doors opened suddenly. A senior officer entered. Your Majesty. We have discovered additional human lineages with similar harmonic signatures. Warren blinked. Wait. Plural. Yes. 3 clusters have been identified so far. Warren sighed with relief. Good. Because I really didn't want to be the only one. The officer looked confused. That comforts you. Yes. Shared responsibility is always comforting. Lyria turned back to the projection. If this knowledge spreads, she said quietly, some factions will attempt to use it. Others may see it as a threat. Warren nodded. People tend to panic when history changes. Yes. He looked down at his hands again. So what happens now? Lyria considered the question carefully. The harmonic concordance was designed as a bridge between our species. And bridges connect 2 sides. Warren smiled slightly. That sounds like diplomacy. It may become more than that. The flagship suddenly emitted a deep harmonic tone. Both of their signatures glowed brighter within the registry. Not separate, but intertwined. The ancient system had made its decision. Warren sighed. Well, I guess I'm not just a technician anymore. Lyria studied him quietly. No, you are something else. Outside the viewport, Haven Station continued its quiet orbit. Merchants traded. Ships docked. Aliens argued about cargo permits. None of them realized something ancient had just awakened. An alliance that had been forgotten for centuries had just found its voice again. And the first human the ship recognized was the